have no idea.
Great, thanks, Jesse.
A bee, maybe she ate a bee,
Is spider maybe?
spider.
I have no,
Okay, there she is.
There, just leave it like that.
yeah, that firmware thing, I don't know what that's about.
I mean, it was like.
Hopefully it'll stay away. All right,
Okay.
welcome everybody to the April 2nd town board meeting. I will call the meeting to order and start the meeting with the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. So I guess I'll start the meeting with the opportunity for if anybody wants to address the board and privilege of the floor. They're welcome to do so now. I didn't see anybody on the list and I don't see any hands up, so, and there's nobody in Zoom. Let's see if I get this. There we go. Okay. Good. So with that, I'll move on to the first item on the agenda, which Brad Yenser has submitted an application for membership on the town's esteemed planning board. And so he's here tonight to talk with us for a few minutes about that. So thanks, Brad. I'll just start it off with, yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in the planning board.
Sure, so.
And if you want to scoot, you can show people the back of your head if you want, but or if you can pull up a chair over here kind of next to Jonathan and
You want to?
yeah, that'd be fine. It'll be a better for the audience, so.
Michelle. So, hi, everybody. I think everybody's already met me and spoken with me. I'm Brad Yenser. I am both a physician and a farmer in town. I live literally 2 minutes up the road. Thirsty Fruit Farm is our new and budding farm. I guess what else can I tell you? We've lived in the area for 8 years now. Both my practice and my farm are startup businesses. Practice is now, no, I don't consider it a startup anymore. We've been at the same location for 5 years. Our farm still feels very new. Obviously, farms take years to get into full swing, especially when it's a fruit and vegetable farm. I just like to be involved in what's going on in the local area in terms of things that affect our community, things that affect the farm. I know I was previously actually asked to serve in the Dryden Ag Committee, but I actually felt more comfortable being in the Caroline Committee because I live in Caroline. But because my property's on the edge and because I have business in town of Dryden, that was really sweet of them. And at the time, I just didn't have the time. Now I'm finally to a place where I feel like I have some time that I can dedicate to whatever other pursuits outside the farm and outside my practice. So Jonathan knows I've come to a couple ag meetings, plan on continuing to come to the ag meetings to however help out and give my 2 cents. The planning committee seems like a good place for me as well to provide my 2 cents where I can. As I mentioned in an email to everybody, I do have some experience with interpreting state and federal statutes my mother was a lawyer, so I kind of trained in legalese.
At the
and
dinner
can-
table.
Yeah, and translate that into English and good at reading contracts and writing grants, written a lot of grants, so I can perhaps bring a skill set that can help the committee maybe be valuable where and when, but I also know nothing of local governance, and so I don't pretend to be experienced there, but happy to learn and take other people's lead. Um, Anybody have questions?
You mentioned your practice.
Yeah,
Yeah, and what is that?
I'm a dermatologist,
Okay.
so I'm in private practice. I
That's-
see about.
That's in Dryden, that's.
Yeah, it's around Route 13, Finger Lakes Dermatology. I built that building, been there for about 5 years, got my little farm stand on there, of course, so people get their veggies when they come to get their skin checks. I'm currently actually hiring another physician. I'm interviewing her next week. I'm cross fingers, get another dermatologist in town, that would be great. I see about 5,000 patients a year, 8,000 patient visits. We're very busy. And then I come home and I work on the farm nights and weekends. And I have a 4-year-old toddler who also keeps me busy.
That's cool.
That's my life. Other than that, I don't really have a life. I have work.
Sounds like a
I
good
play
life.
with my daughter. It's fun. It's a work of passion and fun. I left work today. It was good. I teach residents and students and we had fun and they get to learn something. I get to see that little sparkle in their eye when the light bulb goes on. It's fun.
Brad, probably the biggest lift that the planning board has undertaken in the past 10 years has been a revision of the comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as whether you've had a chance to look at that.
I've looked at the zoning you're talking about.
No, the comprehensive plans.
No, I didn't look through
That
all.
precedes, that.
I looked at some of that, but
stands
that
on top of
was. That was like a year or two ago that I last read it, so. And then I was more interested in looking at the zoning law when it was coming out and,
Right.
but I haven't read the entire comprehensive plan yet.
Yeah, so the comprehensive plan is basically the
Guiding light.
the underwear.
I'm gonna say the guiding light.
The guiding, the guiding document, yeah,
The underwear?
At the end.
the underwear. The guiding document, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a vision,
Yeah,
for the town.
Sure.
And where we want to get there, and then the planning board helps us get there,
sure,
right? So that's why this important, the zoning grew. The need for zoning became evident because we saw in order to get to where, the comprehensive plan pointed, we need to.
sure.
Why that's there. Is there a planning issue you're particularly interested in?
Several, actually, I'd be happy to help out with. But most of I'm interested in some sort of noise ordinance would be great to have, whether a standalone thing or as part of one of the various zoning revisions. There is a lot of mention in the current zoning law about trying to keep noise to a minimum with respect to construction, but it doesn't actually have anything specific to this ordinance. I know there was a lot of pushback, and I got a lot of history from different folks on that previous attempts for such a thing, and I can understand and appreciate the history there, and I think it's still worth in the future, whenever the time is right, to revisit how can we work in something that works for everyone and makes sense. It sounds like I didn't have the privilege to see the previous copy of what someone was trying to push forth before, but it sounds like it was not received well because perhaps it was overly burdensome and micromanaging and whatever. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I think there is still a good public need for one beyond my own personal need. I think there's that. I think I have some thoughts about lighting and dark sky issues as it relates to building code. I also have some thoughts on the zoning as it relates to the placement of buildings on properties. For example, there was something in the zoning where like, well, we don't want you to put your house in the middle of this parcel because we want to keep the land open. Well, long before the zoning was implemented, you know, we have years in the making been planning to build a house right in the center of our property. And for a lot of farmers, you may or may not agree, like to put their stuff in the middle of the property to make it more efficient to get to all four corners of the property where you're operating. So I just felt like maybe that wasn't ideal when considering, you know, farmers and how they're placing buildings.
Brett, I think that was in an earlier version.
Sure, and that may have changed. I just may have.
Because I don't remember it being like, I remember, I'd have to go look, but my recollection.
There is a recommendation in the ag zone regarding ideal placement for open land.
Sure.
It's not a requirement.
Sure, and so there was just some things like that, I think, I have no shortage of opinions. And I like to share them. By being involved, I feel like my voice is heard. Even if people disagree with what I have to say.
We disagree with each other. So.
Michelle, do you have any, just wanted to make sure I don't forget.
No, I don't have a question that I can think of. You know, I did see Brad at the last planning board meeting, which was, you know, nice. I was going to comment that thing about the building, not building in the center of your property, that I think, I'm not sure that's there anymore. And that was just a recommendation, not, you know, it was not a regulation, not a.
Sure.
So, and also I don't know how much the planning board is going to do with the revision of the zoning law. Is my other question about that, but I'm sure that I noticed that people were very happy to get an application from an interested person because there are only 4 people on the planning board, and so they could use some help, I think. And you probably got the impression, you know, what they're working on right now is the mobile home law.
Right.
So. Oh, I guess my question is, did you have a chance to talk to Bill Paducah about what some of the goals of the planning board are? Because they've kind of got a list of things they want to work on this year.
Only just what was vaguely shared there at the meeting.
Okay.
So, go
Yeah.
through. We didn't do a formal interview or anything, and we didn't go through what's the annual plan. I was more or less just assuming I'd go with the flow.
Okay.
Like, you know, just because I have, I guess, certain interests doesn't mean that's on the agenda.
Right. So if, you know, I guess if you were interested to know what their priorities are for this year, I would recommend talking to Bill Paducah about that.
I'll reach back out to him. I mean, we talked obviously about the mobile home revision that they were actively working on. And basically said the board had asked them to review that, so they're reviewing that, and I was just observing, so.
Did the solar law come up in that meeting, in the planning board meeting?
Not, I don't think so. Not the one that you were at, Brad. I think it was all just about the.
So that, and that wasn't,
mentioned.
I think the planning board met with the ag committee sometime recently. So I'm just.
She
I'm
came
just
in,
bringing-
Erica Renee came and talked about it. I'd have to look at my notes, but I don't think the solar voltaic law specifically, it was mentioned, but it wasn't. Anyway.
There's been a lot of interest in that recently. We did just have a review. The review board reviewed a big solar project for us on 76 Road. I don't know if you were aware of that, but.
No, and that's the thing, is like, I want to get involved and know what's going on. I don't even know. I feel like I'm the last to know sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what?
Yeah.
And
Understood, yeah, understandable.
being on the planning board is the most efficient way of learning what's going on.
Right, right, and so this is my home, we have no plans, obviously, to move. We are heavily invested in both time and money into this area. To move would be just, it's not gonna happen.
To move?
Would be, yeah. For us to get up and leave, what I'm saying is we're here, we're well established.
Oh, right.
In the area,
Oh,
we have no intention of
Yeah,
moving
okay.
away.
You're not itinerant, yeah.
Yeah, we're not a temporary resident, we're now here as a fixed,
Yeah.
stone.
I think it's great that you want to get involved.
Great, well, thank you.
Thank
you.
Any other questions for Brad?
No.
Great, thank you.
Go enjoy your dinner.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just inhaled my egg sandwich, so have
Yeah.
a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Good night.
coming, yeah, see you, Brad.
Oh, nice.
Should we consider a resolution to appoint Brad to the planning board?
Sure.
I'll second it.
Okay. Seconded by Kate, any questions? So, I guess I don't have the appointments in front of me. I think we assigning to 5-year terms, so we'll assign them to the standard term, particularly the 5-year term.
Okay.
Based on the prior 5-person membership, which is no longer, now it's 7 members. But I'm not going to appoint him to a 7-year term.
No.
That would be too horrifying, so. Okay, so I offer that resolution. Kate has seconded. Any other thoughts or questions? Okay, so I will therefore call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the resolution to award the contract to 6 Mile Creek at Banks Road maintenance project.
Are we doing committee reports?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I skipped over that. No, that's what we're doing next. Sorry. Yeah, committee reports. Thank you. And I will open up to whoever would like to offer something first, if anything needs to be offered.
I just forwarded you all within the hour, Bob's code officer report, which is pretty substantial. So you can all take a look at it. It's both a listing of what applications have come in, but also a summary of what he's been up to the past month. So I thought it was very helpful.
I'll look forward to looking
And
at that.
sorry, I didn't get it to you earlier in the day. I was on the road.
Okay. And that, so just to sort of clarify, it's great that you sent it. So I sent Bob an email. We had talked about it previously, and I thought I'll just summarize our thoughts. So I just said, here's what I think would work well for a report, how to structure it. So he sent that out. Typically, the code report is the business meeting, so he's really ahead of the game. But you know, it's a report of the previous month's activities, so it's good to have it now. But one thing I thought would be good for that report is to have, so that included in that report would be any projects that are queued for review by either the review board or the zoning board of appeals for the
That'd be
next
good.
one.
So we can have
So
some
I think
ideas
that'll be
going on.
really helpful to help him pull the needed materials together and to get it to them in sufficient time. So. Did you have any thoughts from have you seen it yet, Jonathan?
No,
Okay,
I haven't either.
no, I just literally like 25 minutes ago.
you said it when the meeting started.
About-
I actually saw it. I did.
So, yeah, so you know, if anybody has feedback to Bob, you know, that just reply back. So I thought it was good to have that.
I thought it was a good report. It was very coherent.
Great.
As is Bob.
Yes.
Well, the Trails Committee, do we have a Trails Committee? Just you and me, right?
The trails.
The Trails Committee, well, I mean, got the other towns, yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
trail meeting the other
The
day?
trail meeting.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about it?
No,
Okay. Well, the state has pretty much approved of getting the state, for the trail.
okay, so, you recall, right? They submitted it to the public commission, that's what, yeah, and
That's
then
right.
the state.
That's what- Remember which state aid.
Something changed, get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then
so it
there's,
has been
you
submitted.
know.
Hey,
it-
Mark, the microphone's cutting out again.
Yeah, I
Thank
can't
you.
quite understand what's going on.
Okay,
Is that,
That's not.
no,
We need to get it
it's not, Tim,
for the
Could be the-
probably not,
reports.
yeah. Need to figure out what is going on, sure.
can you hear us now?
I keep testing them, please. Can you, is it better now? Can you hear me, Jesse?
Yeah, but you,
It's
Yeah.
scratchy.
You cut out right before you said that.
Do you have any IT experience?
I hear nothing now. There's no sound.
There you go.
How about now?
My goodness.
Can you hear you there?
Yeah.
I can hear that, yeah.
You're still breaking up though.
Really?
But you can hear us.
Yes.
This is.
That's the audio.
Oh, yeah, I know this is affected audio.
Why are they blue? Oh, because you have. Can you just, this one doesn't go in, you can't just bring the blue? Because it looks like the black.
No, this feeds to the speaker. So this is where they get this from, is through
And then,
this.
and it's connected to the floor?
Yes.
I see. How about this one?
So it
Do
feeds
this- do
through
anything?
the speaker.
This one's really,
Check it, yeah,
I think that's.
got it? This one, what? It was loose in the floor,
Seems a little, shouldn't be that.
it gets stepped on or something, so. How are we now?
Well, right now it's a little better, but I guess you have to say more sentences for us to figure out if you're cutting out or not.
Okay,
How's that?
all right, No.
It sounded like you cut out. The problem I'm having, I don't know about you, Jesse, is I can't tell if you're hesitating or if you're cutting out.
I am hesitating, but I,
Definitely cutting out every
You're
couple
cutting out.
minutes.
That was definitely cutting out.
Yeah.
Too many connections.
I don't know about that.
How about that? We just adjustments with the different.
Can you hear Jonathan?
I think you're still cutting out. Jonathan seemed to tail off abruptly.
Like up
Your
here.
computer.
You do?
Yeah.
I think what you do maybe is to restart, might just be, because we didn't touch anything, it's just something happened with probably the audio, or maybe it's going bad.
So I'm gonna restart, okay? There's this HP firmware update
That could be it.
won't go away, so I'm,
Well,
what it was,
just concerned about the recordings.
yeah. Well, then we'll have recordings, right?
What's
Is
that?
Then we'll have two separate recording meeting, right? I
Right.
guess, yeah. I think we should do this though, because it's not working. I bet it is this firmware.
Yeah.
Interfering. Maybe if I just